Okay, let's just jump right into a really fascinating puzzle. You've got two major countries on the exact same planet, but with, well, wildly different ways of thinking about money. One way of thinking, saving about 4% of what they make. The other, a whopping 37%. And get this, the secret isn't some complex new app or a high-tech algorithm. Nope. It's a simple invented more than 120 years ago. So how on earth does that work? I mean, just look at the scale of this difference for a second. It's pretty staggering. We're talking a personal savings rate of just under 4% versus 37% for working households in Japan. That is not just a gap, that's a financial canyon. Think about it. For every $100 you earn, the average American saves less than $4. Someone in Japan saves almost 10 times that. And this whole savings thing, it tells an even deeper story. It's not just about how much money is being put away, it's about how it's being kept. In the US, 13% of a household's assets are in actual liquid cash. You know, money you can actually use. The rest, it's all tied up in investments, or let's be honest, it just isn't there because we're living on credit. But in Japan, more than half their wealth is just sitting there, accessible, secure. It's like a fortress of financial stability.
So why can't we seem to close this gap? Well, let's picture someone, we'll call him Ryan. Ryan makes a pretty average salary. He's got all the budgeting apps on his phone. He checks them, he sees the dining out category, feels that little pang of guilt, closes the app, and orders delivery anyway. Sound familiar? He's not irresponsible, but at the end of every single month, there's always between what he wanted to save and what he actually saved. And this right here is the crucial point. Ryan's problem isn't that he lacks discipline. It's that his tools are totally passive. Your average app is fantastic at creating a detailed, color-coded archive of all your financial regrets. But here's the thing. It's designed to record what you already did, not to fundamentally what you're about to do. So to really get the Japanese approach, we have to stop looking at budgeting like it's some big math problem. We have to start thinking of it as a completely different operating system for your brain. The solution isn't about more willpower or more discipline. It's installing a new philosophy before you even think about opening a spreadsheet. And this whole philosophy is built on just a couple of core ideas. It all starts with this feeling, a word that doesn't really have a perfect English translation, Mottainai. This isn't just about waste. It's that genuine physical discomfort you feel when something's full potential isn't. You know, wasting a single grain of rice isn't just tossing out food. It's like you're dismissing the farmer, the soil, the water, all the work that brought it to your plate. It's the felt weight of waste. Okay, so the second piece of this mental operating system comes from Okinawa, which happens to be one of the world's longevity hotspots. The concept is called Hara Hachi Bu. It's a pretty simple Confucian: eat until you are 80% full. Don't wait until you're totally stuffed. You stop before you feel satisfied. Just leave a little room. So how does this whole eating until you're 80% full idea apply to money? Well, it flips the script on how we handle our finances. The typical American way is you earn money, you spend money, try to save whatever scraps are left over. But the Japanese sequence, inspired by Hara Hachi Bu, is totally different. You earn your money and then you immediately save 20% of it, right off the top. And only then do you spend what's left. You basically learn to live on the 80%, and the crazy part is that 80% very quickly starts to feel like 100%. So what will change in sequence actually look like in the real world? Well, for our friend Ryan, who earns about $68,000 a year, saving 20% first means he's putting away $13,600 in a single year. That's a life-changing amount never managed to save before. Not because he couldn't afford it, but because his entire sequence was backwards. So we've got the philosophy down. Now let's talk about the tool that makes it all practical. Back in 1904, a woman named Hani Motoko, who was Japan's first female newspaper reporter, created a household accounting system. This was mainly for women who were basically shut out of the formal financial world, and she called it the Kakeibo. The system itself is at the beginning of every month, you open a physical notebook and you just answer 4 questions. Number 1, how much money do I have available? Number 2, how much do I want to save? 3, how much am I actually spending? And this is the most important one, how can I improve? Then, every single time you buy something, you write it down by one of just 4 categories. You've got needs, rent, food. You've got wants, like going out to eat. Unexpected, for things like a car repair. And then there's this really key distinction: culture, for things like books, concerts, or courses, things that help you grow. See the difference? A $60 dinner is a $60 cookbook. That's culture.
Okay, now this is where it all really clicks into place. I know what you're probably thinking. That just sounds like every other budget I've ever tried to keep. But the difference between this and a digital tool is actually profound, and it's backed up by some real brain science. So let's just ask the question straight up. Why on earth does a physical notebook, a simple pen, and a few questions actually work better than a sophisticated app on your phone?
Well, the answer is all about how our brains are wired. When you write something by hand, it's not just your hand doing the work. It activates these complex parts of your brain, lighting up the parts responsible for memory and learning. It forces you to actively process what you're doing. Typing, on the other hand, is much more passive. Your brain just kind of goes into stenography mode, just recording information with very little real engagement.
And it all boils down to this, right here. An app shows you the data of what you did. Really writing it down makes you feel what you did. And it's our feelings, not data, that ultimately change our behavior. When you have to physically write down, spent $43 on takeout because I was stressed, you process that decision in a way that a colorful bar chart can never, ever make you. So what does all this mean for you? It means you can shift your focus away from forcing discipline and instead just design a better system for yourself. Japan didn't build a massive savings culture by just being more strong-willed. They built it by making the right choices easier and making the wrong choices feel, well, just a little uncomfortable. And you can build your own defaults starting today. First, just add a little bit of healthy friction. The simple act of writing a purchase down creates this powerful little pause. Second, reverse the sequence. 20% of your income moves to savings the second you get paid. Third, ask yourself better questions before you buy. Is this a need, a want, or am I just bored? Finally, reflect at the end of the month. Ask yourself what you'll change, not just whether you hit some arbitrary number. Ultimately, this all leads to a phrase that's inscribed on a 17th century stone basin in a Kyoto Zen garden, Taru wo shiru. It means know what is enough. And that doesn't mean you should settle for less. It's developing the capacity to recognize when you actually have enough, instead of constantly chasing a finish line that our consumer culture is literally designed to keep moving forever. And that, right there, might be the most valuable thing you can ever save.